This week isn't just big, it's game-changing. General Hospital.
The morning sun rose slowly over Port Charles, but the golden light did nothing to calm the growing storm brewing in the city. Secrets, betrayals, and desperate choices were beginning to collide, and by the end of the day, several lives would be forever changed. Nina's dangerous secret. At the Metro Court, Nina Reeves sat alone at a small table by the window, her hands wrapped tightly around a mug of coffee that had long since gone cold. Her mind raced. The secret she had been carrying was getting heavier by the minute. She never intended for things to spiral this far. All she wanted was to protect her daughter, Willow Cain. But the choices she made in that desperate moment were now threatening to destroy everything. And worst of all, someone knew. Last night, Charlotte Cassadine had discovered the truth, every ugly detail of Nina's deal with Jack Brennan. The memory replayed in Nina's mind. Brennan had approached her weeks earlier with a chilling offer. He possessed footage that could expose her involvement in the shooting incident involving Drew Cain. If that footage surfaced, Nina wouldn't just lose her reputation. She could go to prison. So Brennan proposed a deal. If Nina could gather information from Charlotte about where Valentine Cassadine was hiding, Brennan would make the incriminating footage disappear forever. Nina had convinced herself she had no choice. But now Brennan wanted results, and Charlotte knew everything. And that meant the truth could explode at any moment. The soft sound of footsteps pulled Nina from her thoughts. Willow approached the table. "Mom," Willow said gently. "You sounded upset on the phone." Nina's heart tightened. This was it. She took a slow breath. "There's something I need to tell you," Nina whispered. Willow frowned, sensing the tension immediately. "What's wrong?" Nina's eyes filled with guilt. "I did something terrible," she admitted. Willow leaned forward. "What do you mean?" Nina's voice trembled. "I made a deal with someone dangerous because I was trying to protect you." The words hung heavy in the air. Willow's expression shifted from confusion to concern. "What kind of deal?" Nina hesitated, but there was no turning back now. "The kind that's coming back to haunt me." Brennan tightens the pressure. Across town, in a quiet office, Jack Brennan stared down at his phone with cold determination. He had been patient long enough. Nina promised information. Now he expected delivery. He tapped out a message. Time's up. If Nina failed him, he had no problem releasing the footage. After all, leverage only worked if people believed you would use it. Alexis fights for her granddaughter. At the Davis home, Alexis Davis paced anxiously across the living room floor. Her granddaughter Scout Cain meant everything to her, and now she was about to lose her. Moments later, Willow entered the room. Alexis turned quickly. "I'm glad you came." Willow looked uneasy. "Alexis, I just wanted to explain something before you heard it from someone else." Alexis crossed her arms, already sensing the worst. "Explain what?" Willow hesitated. "Scout is moving back in with me and Drew." Alexis froze. The words felt like a punch to the chest. "You're taking her away from here?" Alexis asked quietly. Willow nodded. "It's what's best." But Alexis could hear the uncertainty in Willow's voice. "Best for who?" Alexis demanded. Willow looked away. Alexis stepped closer, emotion rising in her voice. "Scout is happy here. She has stability. She has family." "And she'll still have family," Willow insisted. But Alexis wasn't convinced. "Please," Alexis said softly, "think about what you're doing." Willow remained silent. Alexis knew something else was going on. Something Willow wasn't telling her. "Someone is pressuring you, aren't they?" Alexis asked. Willow's eyes widened, but she quickly looked away. Alexis grabbed her hands. Whatever secret you're protecting, it's not worth hurting Scout. Her voice cracked with emotion. Please don't do this. For a moment, Willow looked ready to break. But then she pulled her hands away. I'm sorry, Alexis. And just like that, Alexis realized the decision had already been made. Jason and Britt form a plan. Meanwhile, inside a quiet room at the hospital, Jason Morgan stood with his arms crossed as Britt Westbourne paced nervously. Britt had never been one to show fear. But today was different. I'm running out of time, Jason, she admitted. Jason watched her carefully. Then we stop wasting it. Britt sighed. You make it sound simple. It usually is, Jason replied. Britt gave him a tired smile. You've always been good in a crisis. Jason leaned against the desk. So tell me everything. Britt explained the situation, the threats, the growing pressure, the feeling that events were spinning out of control. Jason listened quietly. When she finished, he nodded. Then we get ahead of it. Britt raised an eyebrow. How? Jason's voice turned calm and steady. We find out who's pulling the strings before they make their next move. Britt considered the plan. It was risky, but doing nothing was even worse. All right, she said. For once, I'm putting my trust in you. Jason gave a rare half-smile. Smart choice. Marco faces a breaking point. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Marco sat across from Lucas Jones at a small cafe table. His hands trembled slightly. Lucas noticed immediately. You look like you haven't slept in days. Marco let out a shaky laugh. That obvious? What's going on? Marco hesitated. Then the truth burst out. If everything comes out, I could lose my relationship with my father. Lucas leaned forward. What are you talking about? Marco shook his head. It's complicated. Lucas studied him carefully. Is it something illegal? Marco didn't answer. The silence said everything. Lucas sighed. You know you don't have to go through this alone. Marco forced a smile. Maybe I do. Lucas frowned. What does that mean? Marco's voice dropped. If the truth destroys my family, then that's just the price I have to pay. An awkward interruption. At another corner of Port Charles, Michael Corinthos sat with Jacinda Bracken at a quiet restaurant table. The atmosphere was tense. Michael leaned forward. I appreciate you meeting with me. Jacinda shrugged. You said it was important. Michael nodded. It is. But before he could continue, Michael? A familiar voice cut through the moment. Both of them turned. Standing near the table was Christina Corinthos. Her eyes moved between Michael and Jacinda. Well, this is interesting. Michael sighed. Christina, this isn't what it looks like. She crossed her arms. Oh, really? Jacinda looked extremely uncomfortable. Christina smirked. Because from where I'm standing, it looks exactly like what it looks like. Michael rubbed his temples. This is going to be a long conversation. Christina pulled out a chair. Good. I've got time. The calm before the explosion. As evening approached, the tension across Port Charles continued to rise. Nina's confession threatened to shatter Willow's trust. Alexis feared losing her granddaughter forever. Jason and Britt were preparing for a dangerous game. Marco stood on the edge of a devastating family conflict, and Christina's unexpected interruption promised even more chaos for Michael. But perhaps the biggest danger still loomed in the shadows. Jack Brennan watched everything unfold from afar, and he was ready to strike. Because in Port Charles, secrets never stay buried, and the truth always finds its way to the surface. Sparkles the drama in Port Charles is only just beginning.